As you're probably aware by now, the Wii U was my first ever Nintendo console, and it was probably one of the best gaming experiences I ever had. But now that the Switch is coming out, it made me just wonder so much more about Nintendo and what it means to me, and what are my expectations for the Switch. You have probably seen my first video on the Switch. If you haven't already, I'll leave a little card in the top right corner of the screen. Click it if you haven't seen it already. And today's video, I'll be talking about one of the most hyped games on the Switch, Super Mario Odyssey. I've only played one Mario game in my entire life. Yes, only one. And that is the Super Mario Maker game. It was okay, but not really the kind of Mario game I was into. It was okay, but how would I say it? Not really my type of game. I expect some good action and some interesting stuff in it. Mario seems kind of slow and wild for some reason. I like random games, but Super Mario Maker felt so wild but still sluggish at the same time. It's hard to explain, but I don't know. It really didn't really catch my attention. But then there is Super Mario Odyssey, standing proudly in the middle of everything. And it's probably not a game I would get for the system. The system is not even out yet, but people are already hyping up the game. That's even further away from launch than the system itself. But, I don't know, all this hype around it made me wonder, would it be something I would get, or even get hyped about if I knew more about it? And the answer is no. And I know it may seem like a shock for a lot of people, so here are my reasons for why I am not hyped for Super Mario Odyssey. One of the first things that stood out for me as weird is the whole hat mechanic. Like, people have been going crazy for it, but seeing what is shown in the trailer, it doesn't seem that exciting. The entire fluttering hat thing just seems like a different type of animation instead of just a double jump. So unless they do something interesting with the hat, and not just have a separate animation to replace a double jump, or pretty much anything else, I don't know, teleportation, or using a grappling hook, or whatever else, it doesn't seem too different. It's just a different animation that plays. It doesn't, from at least the trailer itself, doesn't seem to have changed up the mechanics of it too much. It just seems like a little, oh, cool, there is a hat with some eyes kind of feature. One of the most prominent locations shown off in the trailer is the city, the huge city of whatever it's called that looks like a 1970s New York. But from what I've seen so far about the other games, it's just the Mushroom Kingdom setting seems a lot more fun. I don't know why, but Mario just doesn't seem to fit into it. Like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with the games, but I do know how they work. But also, I've played some Mushroom Kingdom-like environments in Cat and Toad Treasure Tracker, and I have to say, they were a lot more interesting than this 1970s weird New York, LA type of city. Mario just doesn't seem to match into it, and depending on how much the areas will be used in the game itself, but right now it looks like maybe a pretty prominent part of it. Another prominent part of the trailer was the parkour in the city. Well, semi-parkour, just mainly climbing up walls, but it got me thinking, like, how not Mario it is. It doesn't seem like something you would see in a Mario game. In Mario, it's mainly just platforming, but not in a parkour type sense. If they keep just a normal kind of traversing land using just jumping and such, and some power-ups, that'd be great, but the reason to add parkour is just so weird. And I know I'm kind of contradicting myself with the whole adding new features bit when I mentioned the hat, but this adds some more elements of gameplay. But once again, I think it could have been carried out with just more Mario type of style of animations. And so instead of just parkour, I don't know, maybe having a super bouncy flower, or I don't know, something like that. And finally, the Mario airship kind of deal. We don't know how you'll get from level to level in this game, whether it's exploring them in the city or simply selecting it from a map in your airship, but the airship looks like it may be a pretty prominent part, but then ended up being a disappointment. Like, for example, it won't be much. It'll be a prominent part of it, but you won't really use it for much other than fast travel from level to level. So, unless they do something very, very interesting in it, like, for example, having to fly through a flying level, maybe, I think that'd be cool, like, having flying levels to fly the airship with, I think it would be a big part of it. Nintendo makes it seem like a big part of it, seeing how much it's featured in the trailer, but I doubt it will be a big part. So, my final thoughts about the game. Will I buy it? If it's cheap, I may. I still need to see more about the game. Pretty much no one knows a lot about it, but people seem to have a large amount of hype for it, just because it's a different type of Mario. And probably the fact I've never played a true Mario game has something to do with it, but I know a lot about it to see where my hype main points are, where my main points of worries are. But unless the game is like cheap and I have to spend money, then I probably won't buy it just because it doesn't seem like my type of game. I'm probably either not ready for Mario yet, or Mario's probably never be the kind of game I want it to be. I don't know what I want Mario to be, but one thing's for certain, Super Mario Odyssey, as it looks right now, is probably not what I want. I'm not saying it's bad, but it doesn't seem like the type of game I would enjoy unless they do a lot more than the trailer is not telling us. And I hope you enjoyed this video about my views on this super hyped game. If you enjoy it, please subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in the next video of whatever I make. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.